got here a 2009 F350, I think, something like that, with a 6.8 V10 in it. The customer complaint is, to be honest, I'm not really sure. Something with the cluster. I mean, there's lights on the cluster, but I don't know. The tech I was working on is not here, so I couldn't get a clear answer. I think it's not just the owner. He thinks the tech thinks there's something wrong with the actual cluster. So, alright, I don't know. I'm gonna plug in the scan tool in. Actually, let me first turn it on. Alright, there's a brake light and an ABS light. And it says check brake system. Alright, so pretty much there's just an ABS and a brake light, so I'm gonna scan it and see what we get. Alright, as I'm starting to scan it, I noticed that the battery light's also on. So, oh, it's 2008, not 2009. Trying to turn the AC on because it's boiling in there. And he also needs a blower motor resistor, but only works on high. So I'm gonna turn it off because no one can hear me. Alright, so there's no comp to the ABS module. I'm just going to save a report. Alright, so there is a code in the instrument cluster, missing communication with the ABS and receiving error from external node. So that makes sense if you have no comm with the ABS module. Now I'm not sure why they were saying it's a problem with the, like, I would chase now the ABS module, not the cluster, unless they already went through all the diagnostics. Okay, and there's also a generator control circuit from the PCM, and that's why the battery light's going to be on. And there's a vehicle speed sensor, signal intermittent fault. I'm assuming I'm going to chase the ABS valve. So now looking at the scan tool right over here, it shows battery voltage. We're clearly charging. So that light is probably gone either because it's an alternator issue or a computer issue. I don't know. I'm not dealing with that now because he's nervous about the other lights on the dash. The ABS lights specifically, which clearly says there's no communication to it. And there's another one in the trailer brake control modules missing communication to the ABS. The restraint control module receiving error from external node. So I think most of our issues are no comm with the ABS module. So I'm going to chase that first. Alright, I'm going to pull up the diagram. Alright, we got a 2008. Liter. I'm going to start by checking power, or actually before you even check power. Okay, where is this? ABS control module, diesel, we need gas. At left to rear of engine compartment. Okay, so we got, let's see, we have over here our main power, which comes from fuse 9 in the battery junction box, 40 amp fuse, and we have an ignition power, which comes from fuse 77. What else? Here's another power. Fuse 6. And then there's 2 grounds. Pin 45 and Alright, so before I go to the actual module, I want to just check these three fuses right here. Alright, let's do that. Alright, so 2 of them are hot at all times, and 1 of them has to be on. So I'm going to shut the car for now so we don't get the whole car hot. And we'll check the ones that are hot, and then we'll turn just the key on. It's in the battery junction box. Alright, so open the hood, and there's lots of aftermarket stuff here, as would be expected on a truck like this. Alright, the battery junction box is over here. Alright, we need, alright, so I need to check fuse 9 is 3 in, is this guy right here. The fuse itself seems good. Let me just pull it out. Look at it. Alright, I'm gonna check with the test light. At least one, okay, one of the pins is hot, and the fuse itself seems fine. Okay, so that one's good. Now, I could just see from looking that this guy's blown. This is fuse 10. It's not on my diagram, but it's definitely blown. And well, this one's also blown. What number is this? Alright, let me check the next guy. We have fuse 6, which is another 40 amp fuse. Fuse 6, 4, 5, and actually 4, 5, and 6. So this guy right here is also another guy. Fuse looks fine. Alright. And there's fuse 77, which is only ignition. Alright, so I'll turn fuse 77 and we'll turn the ignition on. It is this guy right here. Is it a 10 amp? Yeah, fuse 77 10 amp. Alright, let me go turn on the ignition. Alright, ignition's on. I got power on this side and power on this side. Alright, so that fuse is good. Now, should I just look up what these fuses are for, just to make sure it's not messing me over? 20, what fuse is this? This is fuse 10. Alright, so let me go look up fuse 10 in the power distribution diagram. Alright, we got fuse 10. Huh, cigarette lighter. Okay. Well, that one's blown out. I'll just replace that. And what's the other one that's blown? Fuse 8. Upfitter relay box. At right side of that. Alright, it's aftermarket stuff. Okay, great. So I gotta look at the actual module now and check power rounds at the module. So it's at left rear of engine compartment. Let's go look for that. Oh, I see it. Alright, I gotta climb up on this truck. Alright, drove into the car. I got the plug out. Alright, so now we're gonna check for power and grounds at the module. Let's see if, okay, there's numbers here. Pin 1, 2. This is pin 3. Okay, great. So now pin 2 is a power. And let's find the closest ground. The big ground would be pin 46. So it's pin 2 and 46. This one's our ground and this is a power. So let me get a test light. Alright, so this is a 4 amp test light over here. So we're going to put it on pin 2 and on pin 46. There we go. Okay, so I have power on pin 2. And now pin 31. I also have power. Okay, now once we're here, let's check the ground. Pin 16 is a ground. It also has a ground. Alright, so we got this power. Number 2 has power and a good ground on both of them. What was the other power? Number 31. Well, no, I need to switch that. Okay, 31 has power. One of them is ignition only. And now the ignition power is 32. This guy right here is ignition power. Now, I don't know if the key's on. I'm gonna go turn the key on. We'll see if we get power there. I'm gonna go turn the key on. Shine it down. Oh, so the key was on. So now, do I have bad power there? So wait, that's ignition power at... Alright, so I guess I was just not making contact, because now I'm in and there's clearly power here on the ignition. So, we got all our power and grounds. Now we're going to check communication to the module. So I'm going to check communication at the module, then I'm going to try to plug it in and see if anything changes. And this is a Ford, so Ford doesn't have a wake up. I guess the ignition would be the wake up, but I'm going to check for ignition. I'm going to check for CAN communication on these lines. Alright, so I got my scope. This is the AES Wave U scope. I got asked a lot of questions about it. The case is from Diagnostics. Has magnets. Really nice case. Alright, so I'm going to connect the negative lead to battery ground. I'm going to use my power probe extension for that. So now it's a good ground. And the positive lead, I have the AES Wave test kit. Alright, so I'm going to probe this so we know. Alright, so it's pin. High speed, I think, is pin 3. Okay, now plug this guy over here. Alright, so we have communication on this line. We'll lower the time base. Oops. Okay. so we got good communication on this line. At least it looks like it. And now pin 18. Is the low speed cam. And that also looks good. So now what I like doing is, I like just jumping. It's pretty much, this one goes from 2.5 to 1.5, and that goes, the high speed goes from 2.5 to 3.5. Alright, now I just, watch, I connect the power to the high speed. And I made another one. I'm connect the ground to the low speed. And then, so now I'm going to connect the ground to the low speed. Then all it's doing is minusing off the one from the other. That's the same thing as setting up a math channel on the Pico, you know, to do A minus B. And that's literally what the computer looks at. So sometimes you have a lot of noise, especially on like GMs from the throttle and stuff like that. This right here, we know this looks like a good signal, and that is what the computer's looking at, a signal like this. Alright, so we know from the computer we have communication till here. Now I'm going to plug it in, and I guess I'm going to have to back probe or pierce the wires over here. Alright, I'm going to do that. Okay, I got it pierced. Now let me just test it to make sure I'm on the right wires. Okay, good. So, I have good communication here. Actually, I think I just pulled it out. Oh, so wait, one of these is loose. Okay, so now, let me try to stick this in. See, here's good communication. Alright, this is plugged in, and I think we have good communication. Yeah, it looks fine. Alright, so now alright, let me make sure I still have no communication with the module, and then I'm calling a bad ABS module. There's one more thing I want to try. I want to plug in a breakout box to the OBD port, because it does look a little corroded over there. Alright, and now, with the car off, both buses should be asleep. I'm going to check ohms between them on pin 6 and 14 of the high-speed cam. And we got 60 ohms. That means there's no opens in the line from here all the way around. Alright, I started up the car. Let's try to enter it. Now, alright, sometimes once you can't communicate, you consistently can't communicate. So I'm going to just try this one more time. Let's try just communicating with the ABS module. Enter. No communication. Alright, I'm going to look over the diagram to make sure I didn't miss anything. And then I'm going to call ABS module. Has power, has ground, and it has communication wires getting to it. I checked pin tension. I don't know if it was on camera, but I checked pin tension. It was good. Alright, I don't know, I didn't see anything that I missed. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cover up these holes I made. Because I don't know if I'm gonna see this truck again after they do the job. So I put some clear nail polish on it. Over there. that one and on this one. I'm going to try to get this connector in a little bit better. Okay, I got the connector in flush, so now it's in all the way. I don't know if it was in good before. I'm going to check one more time to make sure I have no communication before I pull the module. Alright, let's turn the key on. Okay, we'll just start the truck. Alright, still not responding. Alright, that's it. I'm pulling an ABS module. Alright guys, thanks for watching.